So let's come to some themes. How do you see the building material space? We know you love Asian Paints and Astral. So that's paints and that's plastic pipes. Are there any other sub-segments that you like from within this space? Say cables and wires, home improvement, cement, maybe metals, I don't know.
So let's step back and think about kya ho raha hai is space mein, and a few other sectors which are changing in a similar way. I'm sure everybody has been reading in the papers for the last 12 months that Bharat Sarkar ka tax collection GDP के मुकाबले 2 से 3 गुना ज्यादा ग्रो कर रहा है, right? Some months tax collection is growing at 30%, some months it's growing at 20%. I'm talking direct plus indirect जोड़ के, right? So tax collection GDP के मुकाबले 2 से 3 गुना जुड़ रहा है, 2 से 3 गुना ज्यादा ग्रो कर रहा है. Tax collections are growing 2 to 3 times faster than GDP growth. That clearly means that जो tax evader है, the tax evader is getting caught most probably by in the GST loop. Tax evader is getting caught, tax evader को सरकार दबा रही है, बोल रही है बेटा पे कर, राइट? उसके साथ साथ अखबार में ये भी पढ़ने को आता है कि सीबीआई एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट का काम बढ़ रहा है. एंड आई स्टडीड व्हेन आई स्टडीड एट द एलएसई, आई स्टडीड फिस्कल पॉलिसी एंड आई स्टडीड इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स सिस्टम्स इन वेरियस कंट्रीज. द इंडियन वन इज वेरी क्लेवरली कंस्ट्रक्टेड, राइट? जहां से यहाँ पे ईच कंपनी, मार्सेलस फॉर एग्जांपल, वी पे जीएसटी बट वी गेट इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट फॉर रिपोर्टिंग आवर सप्लायर्स. Our suppliers get input tax credit for reporting their suppliers, and because of the way it cascades down, it's becoming harder and harder for evaders to get away from the taxman. And as the taxman collects more money, a lot of these businesses are finding that a business which was 25% profit margin without paying tax is basically zero profit margin with paying tax, right? And if you see again, Ministry of Corporate Affairs website में data हर साल सरकार देती है. Ministry of Corporate Affairs के data के तहत हर साल 8 लाख कंपनी बंद हो रहे हैं, right? This is last 5 years since COVID came along, sorry, since GST came along, हर साल 8 लाख कंपनी बंद हो रहे हैं. ना इसका नतीजा क्या है? इसका नतीजा है as the informal sector dies, वो पेंट में हो, टाइल्स में हो, पाइप्स में हो, as the informal sector dies, that market share is going to migrate to the formal sector. Within the formal sector, what you and I have to do, is within the formal sector we have to identify the bahubalis. Which are the players in adhesive, in paints, in pipes, in every segment of building materials? Which are the players which have a bunch of capabilities that their rivals do not, right? And I've discussed in several webinars and in my books, what can Asian Paints do that, for example, Dulux cannot, or Kansai Nerolac cannot, right? And I've written about it at length, and we've understood it and explained it at great length to others. Similarly, what can Astral Poly do in pipes, and now increasingly in adhesives as well, in epoxy adhesives, that its rivals cannot, right? Now, since you and I know that the government is unlikely to say black money ko badhawa do. The government is going to, my reckoning is the government will keep pushing tax collections higher and higher, especially given the threat that we face from China on an ongoing basis. Bharat Sarkar ko tax to GDP आज 12 है, टैक्स टू जीडीपी 12, ये 15 की तरफ ले जाना पड़ेगा. सरकार और दबाएगी छोटे बिजनेसेस को, टैक्स एविडर्स को. जैसे जैसे लघु उद्योग, SMEs shut down in greater numbers, that market share will migrate to the formal sector. Within the formal sector, the most efficient, the most competitive player will gain share. So अगर आप पेंट का सिंपल उदाहरण लो, I don't think paint volume growth over the last couple of years has been any more than 7-8%. But as you and I can see from Asian and Berger's numbers, their volume growth numbers are 12-13%, right? Which clearly means market share gain. And ditto with, say, Astral Poly or a Pidilite for that matter. So the main tailwind for many years to come in building materials will be the formalization of a sector which I still think is 50% black. As that 50% black gradually gets killed, Amar, you and I will make good amounts of money, provided we stay patiently invested in the leading player. What we shouldn't do, a lot of people do, is pipes खरीद लो, right? मैंने broker notes पढ़े हैं, pipes पे buy call है हमारा, तो जाके 4 pipes की कंपनी खरीद लो, या जो सस्ती लगे. That's another bizarre notion I've seen in India. Pipes चाहते हैं अमर जी, कम पी में कौन सी पाइप कंपनी मिल रही है? अरे एस्ट्रल पॉली का पी तो ज्यादा है, कम पी में पाइप की कंपनी दो. And you sort of buy some wretched third-rate pipe manufacturer who's more a crook than a pipe manufacturer. And 3 साल बाद उनका दिवाला निकल जाता है. And then you ask the person, आपको क्या खुशी मिली सस्ता पी खरीद के? सारा पैसा बर्बाद हो गया, right? So yes, there is a structural trend in building materials जहाँ पे black वाला manufacturer मरेगा and the most efficient white manufacturer will gain share. But that doesn't mean your clients or my clients should run out and buy every tiles company, every pipes company, every sanitary ware company. We still have to look for the strongest, the Bahubali-like franchise in every element of building materials.
So Asian Paints and Astral, it continues to be.
हाँ जी, Pidilite भी हमारे काफी सारे पोर्टफोलियोज में है. Asian Paints हमारे consistent compounders has Asian Paints, consistent compounders has Pidilite. They've been stocks we've been holding for I think 6, 7 years now. Astral is in our mid-cap portfolio, Rising Giants. And as I think you've inferred, we're looking for more plays in different elements of building materials. Just one quick disclaimer to everybody listening. Because I'm a Marcellus client myself, मेरे पोर्टफोलियो में ये सारी चीजें हैं. मेरे माँ बाप भी मार्सलस के क्लाइंट्स हैं, उनके पोर्टफोलियो में भी हैं. हमारे 10,000 क्लाइंट्स हैं, उनके पोर्टफोलियो में भी ये स्टॉक्स हैं. So that everybody is clear, I have a vested interest in talking about these companies.
Absolutely.